Alright, let's get this started. It is not me. Right, so I'd like to think I'm quite good at INSANAQUARIUM, one of the most difficult games on this earth. Worse than any FPS. I don't care about Ultra Kill, I don't care about Devil Daggers, I don't care about Hyper Demon, even if I don't understand the mechanics. This is difficult. It's precise, it requires precision, it requires grace, it requires a lot of clicking. In fact, I will be using a laptop for this, for the sole purpose, exactly, for being able to click with my mouse and with the little touchpad. If my kitten doesn't come over and immediately fail to kill whatever's on screen first, she will attempt it. She will likely shut down this recording in the event that it happens, as I record quite rarely, as you might be able to tell by the dearth of videos upon my channel. However, when I do decide to record, I decide to have fun. Because also, I might be going a little bit crazy. I've just spent the past 11 hours working on the same paper, and I just finished turning it in, so now it's time to have fun. Alright, we're chilling. See, my strat here, obviously because we're very early game, we don't get very much money to start with, and also our fish flakes kind of suck. So one does have to wait until the fish are green until one feeds them. No, I will not be buying a fish. See, this may be the tutorial level, but I don't need a tutorial, because I'm pretty much an expert. Each silver coin is worth $15, 15 bugs. And so with that, we can afford to give out at least one pellet. And I'm going to do my best to not waste any pellets. You guys better be fast enough, because if they drop a pellet on the ground, that's money that you're wasting, which is unforgivable. And the penalty for that is, unfortunately, death. But I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. If an alien comes along and I see that you've dropped a pebble, it's really too bad, but things must be as they must be. Eat it. See, they even obey my commands. What obedient fish. They're so innocent. Look at their faces. They know nothing of the world. And here we see the goal of the game. We buy egg pieces, 3 of them. At the start, of course, this is quite cheap. For the first one is only $150. And thus, we have won the first level. Stinky the Snail, also known from his Plants vs. Zombies fame. You may remember him because he enjoys chocolate quite a bit, and speeds around your garden, your Zen garden, collecting the coins that your plants spit up. However, he is often slightly slower than the nimble fingers of the hand with which we collect these coins. And so he remains a beautiful but useless ornament. However, he has much more of a use in this game. And also, he is quite cute. Oh my god! I'm meeting my first alien opponent. I hope he's nice. But, yeah, the first tank is pretty chill, honestly. We get the little predators, the carnivores, in this first tank, which eat the guppies. Don't tell anybody. I'm sorry. Spoilers. Spoilers ahead. you do get other fish, and not the special guys that hang around. But one aims to create a whole ecosystem with these here fish. And we're in danger. A vicious alien is about to enter my tank. I must defeat it with my laser by clicking on it. And this is the part where insane comes into INSANAQUARIUM. Gotta lock in. Especially because our laser sucks. Sometimes I've actually had fish die while I'm defeating an alien. And I don't know if you caught that. But he did in fact drop a diamond. A beautiful, pristine diamond, whose graphic was not used in other PopCap games. Not at all, ever. Certainly not for the one that you play on your 8-hour plane ride, and you get quite bored. And as you can see, now that we're in stage 2, we have unlocked the ability to both upgrade the quality of our food, which will keep our fish fed for longer and also makes them grow larger faster, and the ability to upgrade the amount that we can drop at one time. Usually you don't need to upgrade the amount you can drop for too much, but it is quite annoying to only literally be able to drop one at a time. For later stages, I will upgrade to, number 3 as it were, but for this first stage it's really not necessary, especially because, guppies are cheap, ain't they? Ah! Quit telling me about the alien, I know about this game already. These guys don't know shit about aliens. And this Stinky, the useless snail. He hides like a coward. Oh well, nothing you can do about it. And you dropped a piece of food. You're going to hell. Yeah, you're going to hell. See if I prevent the alien from eating you. And that's right, I am quite good at those games where they put the ball into the cup and they make you run around for it. I know exactly which one you want. And I definitely will still be able to tell the difference once all of them are the same size. Yep, that's for sure. Absolutely. Yep, I have no flaws, and I'm perfect. Yeah, that's pretty much the way I live. My life is like a video game after all. Just sitting here waiting for them to shit out money. No, I will not be upgrading my food quantity. If I never have to see the word quantity versus quality again, I would be so happy. Not that I had to study any quantitative studies for my study. But it's just one of those things. Rah! Nico the oyster, who gives me big bugs. I love you, Nico. I need all the money you have. And he's so cute. He's so cute sitting in the corner. Although if we are really going to be biblically accurate, if he's some sort of clam and/or oyster, he really ought to have 100 more eyes. Have you seen clam eyes? Oyster eyes? They're quite blue. Quite startlingly blue. They look almost a little bit like moss spores. The little filaments that grow off of the moss. Except they do have pupils, and they're, like I said, they're quite blue. Oh, he gave me $300. See, the thing is that I didn't quite read what I had beforehand, so then I made that up. I actually don't know what I do for this. Like 300 or 250 or something. Who did that? Must have been the wind. And yes, we'll get some more guppies early on. Yes, it is 200. Okay. I'm not crazy. Yep, I'm pretty much same. I pretty much know what I'm talking about. Yep. You know, the first two aliens really are quite fine. It's the one octopus-looking motherfucker. That guy's the worst. Especially when he creeps up. Like, the gimmick on this guy is that when he's red, you can attack him, of course. And then when he turns blue, if you attack him, he actually regains health. So it's a balance of trying to put as much damage as you can on him versus... obviously, you don't want to heal him when the time comes, except when he's in his sort of blue dormant state. He often creeps around and tries to get close to your fish or whatever. And I hate him viciously for it. I cannot tell you how many times I've been playing and I have a cluster of 20 fish up in the corner or whatever, and I can't hit the guy, and he's like, please, no! That was my fault, but it was just terrible. Life is horrible. They do vicious things to these little guys. Just like I'm about to feed this fish. Now, you may have noticed... Oop. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is not the same. This is the carnivore fish. I keep wanting to call it the predator fish. It's fine. But the carnivore fish naturally eats little baby guppies and shits out diamonds, which is really awesome. The diamonds are, of course, what you get from defeating an enemy as well, and so it becomes quite valuable. Here we're going to try and maintain a ratio of at least 2 of these big boys. After a certain point, you really don't need the big guppies, especially because they only give the gold coins, which I believe are worth 25, versus diamonds are obviously worth 4 times more. But it's also good to have the little guppies because having 2, we can do the calculation of each one produces around $50. So having 2 big guppies is the basic for sustaining at least 1 predator. Because naturally, 2 guppies producing 50 each will produce at least 1 baby guppy for these guys to eat. And they need to eat a little bit less often than their herbivore compatriots. I kept trying to say herbivorous. I don't think that's a word. But naturally, one does not want their other guys to starve. And also, you know, I really shouldn't have bought those 2 just then because I really don't want to I don't want them to grow to full size because then I'll end up with 3 big medium guppies or whatever, and they can't eat the medium ones, much to my great chagrin. And with that, Itchy the swordfish, also not one of my favorites. He's nice. He's nice enough. I just don't need him that much. The blue sort of aliens just don't have that much health. You okay there, bud? You okay, dude? Okay. I think, yeah, he was jittering a little bit. I guess he's on crack. It's none of my business, really. I mean, he does good work. What can I say? I can't complain. He's got that sort of vacant look about his eyes. He seems quite excited to be here, which, honestly, is what I look for in a good employee. Somebody that wants to be there. After all, you know, you spend a lot of your time in your life working. Grow up! I'm trying to wait for the MFs to get big enough. We're almost there, guys. We gotta lock into the fish tank, baby. Oh no, an enemy's approaching. We got Big Lion. Big Lion. Eventually they'll let us have laser upgrades, but now is not that time, unfortunately. Especially because, as I've said, the health of these young fellows is so low. I think that's what it would sound like if I ate a fish. I think that would be pretty awesome. I do think it's kind of funny that, like, the third stage of the food is just like the first one looks like a fish flake. Second one looks like some sort of alfalfa pellet. Third one, drugs. Eat your pill, buddy. I said eat your pill. Yes. We're up to 3,000. And laser. Wish I'd say laser, but maybe it's too difficult to decide on a British versus American spelling. Technically, laser is an acronym, but I forget what it stands for. Either way, I can't afford one, so it's kind of outside of my scope. Eat it, buddy. That is a reference that maybe one other person in this world will get. Eat it, buddy. I don't. If anyone gets that reference at all, I will be truly shocked and delighted. Anyone that does, at least, is probably, at least in their 30s, or has cool parents. I wish you could eat it. That's what they sound like, but I forgot to turn the sound on, so yeah. Usually I play this as more of an idle game, by which I mean I'm watching something else. So I'm raw dogging it right now. For you. For you personally. You personally, the viewer. I'm raw dogging it. And you should be pretty happy. Ooh, I'm starving. Let me turn green. Imagine if actual things turn different colors when you starve. To a certain extent, one does. Although somebody usually would just lose more of a healthy pallor, but these guys just straight up change color. I don't know, I guess I don't know enough about that. I haven't done enough research into that. I mean, squid change to completely white when you kill them, but that's sort of a different issue. I don't know that they change color because they're hungry. Although I suppose it would be easier to tell. If somebody changed color when they were hungry, it probably, who knows, maybe it's embarrassing in this fictional universe we've made up. Maybe it's exceedingly unimportant, as it would just be a normal way of life, really. Oh, you hungry? You turn green. Maybe I should start doing that. I'll just start turning green when I'm hungry, and then people will feed me a great fish tank from the sky. The mysterious mouse that clicks and gives me my sustenance. Although I don't want to eat that many pills. Pills generally don't taste very good. Oh, I fucking forgot about her. Okay, she's my diva. Not gonna lie, she is my diva. Prego the mama fish. Prego is completely goated for most of the early levels. and a lot of the late game. I usually just keep her around just because, except for during certain levels of the tanks, because basically it's free guppies. It's free guppies forever and ever, amen. There's a different fish that sort of takes her place so that you can open up another one of your slots for another special friend, another special pet. But those ones can die, and so they're not quite as useful as our beautiful immortal mother over here. Gotta choose my pets. This is the final showdown. Which means I will also be saving at least $100 for every guppy I was going to buy, because I will not be buying guppies. Any ones that incidentally grow to adulthood will be purely on accident and not because of their personal worth. Mostly at this point, guppies serve as food for my more lucrative friends, who also happen to turn a little greener. As Kermit once said, that wise frog, it's not easy being green. Although the original Kermit was technically brown, and by technically I mean he was brown. Quite difficult to tell when it's in black and white naturally. But we still have the original puppets. As a society, we, not I personally. If I had one of Jim Henson's original puppets, I don't think I'd ever need anything else. I would just, the knowledge of like looking at Kermit or like Fozzie and be like, hey, that would be so beautiful. If somebody was rude to me, I'd just be like, okay, I pretty much have a Jim Henson puppet, so leave me alone. Usually I try to go down, but this is a more convenient position. And he gave us big monies. That's all you really need in a man, to give you big monies. Especially a big, rugged sea lion. Technically they're supposed to be aliens, but obviously there's some sort of aquatic aliens. I forget what his credits are in the credit section. We'll see them, doubtlessly. This is, of course, also the downside to having Prego. Or is it Prego? Prego like the sauce. Having Prego also means that one is always producing guppies, and so one wastes a lot of food unless they want them to die. So my natural strategy for this, of course, is to try and introduce a predator as soon as possible. Which is not something that's a good situation in the human world. I mean a carnivore. Guys, can I be so honest? I've never seen the Predator movies, and I don't want to. Alright, let's see if we get cooked alive. The red one is, or the orangey, one of them is slightly faster than the other, but both of them are pretty much like freaking nothing to me, or nothing. The only problem is that this first level is just going to take so long to complete that it might actually make me mad. So I'm going to upgrade my weapon once, so that the killing goes faster. Ignore that supplementary guppy. Sometimes she don't give birth fast enough. Can we do the math on that, actually? Can we do the math on fish pregnancy to human pregnancy ratio? I'm sure somebody has the actual game statistics out there for how often she produces. Which naturally, of course, we can equate to that of a 40-week pregnancy. Let's see how fast time really goes in this game. Imagine this is just on a super sped up scale. Or maybe our world is slow. Only one enemy approaching. And I think we're pretty much gonna cook it. I think we're pretty much... I say it's like 4 fish curry. Technically, we don't really need that many anyway. I'm not coping. You are. Oh, he ate it. Good job, buddy. La 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 la. Money. Do you think he's programmed to go to the most valuable thing first, or simply the nearest one first? It could be both. Blink. Blink. Good job. See, he had a little fit of nervousness there. And you dropped it? See if I ever let you work again, bro. You literally dropped a diamond. A diamond, like from Minecraft. If I had a choice, I would have fired you. This is where my cookie clicker genes come into play. 'Cause I am, at heart, a grinder. And not the fun kind. Something about those games where it's like, the only goal is to get more. Of course it depends on the mechanics. Some of those games are just so boring for no reason, but some of those games, like a cookie clicker, maybe an old-fashioned RuneScape, like farming simulators where you just gain more and more. Something about those is definitely very satisfying. Just the progression of it. But naturally, those are also some of the games that never, like, they're not lock-in games. They're not lock-in games, you know? Like, I'm not playing Cookie Clicker for the story. If I was going to do that, I'd probably play, I don't know, Core Observer, some plot-heavy game. I mean, Cookie Clicker does kind of have a plot, if you think about it. It's, evil grandma lore, which, I mean, evil grandma, you could just say just kidding, I love you, grandma. But like, grandma lore, and all of these things. But it's not, it's not here, the sequels. I have conflicted feelings. On one hand, you guys spit out the level 2 kills automatically keeping your fish, which can be quite nice. However, sometimes it can be difficult when you're trying to control which fish are fed and which are not, because he'll just spit things out indiscriminately. He's just not really discerning. That's what I don't appreciate about him. Also, where are the rest of his friends? He's a nudist. He's pretty much a nudist. And now I know this. With respect to this, I can prove that I thought he was 40, 60, whatever. And yet, it's also like you don't want to let it happen. It's the gamer instincts. Which means our time together is at an end. Thanks for joining me on this quite impromptu video. I really don't know what came over me. I just kind of felt like recording something. So it was probably going to be like, you know, like shit, but I kind of don't give a fart. But thank you for joining me. If you want to see more random sporadic shit, obviously you are allowed to subscribe, and unsubscribing is both free. And liking is free, so, you know, if you like it, like it. If you don't, I don't know, watch something else. Anyways. Thanks for being here. Welcome back, asshole.